Hi guys, I think you've got used to my really random videos by now, but this one is talking about the sociology of food. So if you've been watching me for a while, you will know that I can't eat and drink because I have intestinal failure, amongst other things. I am tube fed down into my bowel. If you're interested in looking at my feeding tube, I have made a video about it, and you'll very easily be able to find that in my backlog. Now, I requested this ebook from Bloomsbury Press and they very kindly sent it to me. I've been reading it for quite a while because ebooks take me a while to read because of my Erling syndrome, but I have got there and I've got a lot of takeaways that I wanted to talk to you about. So in the Sociology of Food, they looked at mealtimes and how modern practices show that they are losing structure. So people are snacking more and they aren't having set meal times. Now if I apply that to me, I don't know how I feel about that. In my house we certainly still have set meal times, and sometimes I find it fine, and sometimes I find it really difficult that my family is sat around the table and I'm not with them because I'm on my feed and feeling pretty rough in bed. But it does show, sometimes I do get frustrated and say, the world does not revolve around food, but it does. For everyone else who can eat, just as much as my world revolves around getting enough calories through my tube, their world revolves around nice tastes and experiences. I certainly enjoyed pointing out to people that food is everywhere, and this sociological study proves it. People are snacking up to 20 times a day, which is why I probably feel like I can never ever get away from food. When you're in town, you always see at least like 5 people eating or snacking, going into Greggs, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. I'm just making a point that people, until you're in my situation, you don't think food is as big a deal as it actually is. Food is a huge deal in this world. The world does revolve around food, and you because I don't eat at all during the day, it seems like a massive tie when I'm out with my mum, like, okay, you got to go and get your lunch, and okay, you got to go and do that, and it's like, my mum apologises, and she shouldn't apologise, she needs to eat and drink, but the world does revolve around it. Moving on to a different topic, as I can't eat, I've definitely taken a step back from food and been looking at it in the media. Every other day there seems to be some kind of health scare or food scare or superfood that's found. And I'm very, very sceptical of that now. I've definitely become more sceptical of news in general, but definitely food news. The studies in this book show that food safety is at its maximum, but the media is creating a moral panic, making people worry and get agitated about food safety and food standards when actually it's the best it's ever been. So if we're looking at this from an even more sociological standpoint, functionalists would say that food is an institution in society. It allows people to sit down and share their grievances with their family. Now, if you are a sociologist, you'll understand the warm bath theory. It is whereby the woman runs the home and eases the stresses of the day for the family. So this is very much the point that they're getting at. Sitting down and having a meal, you'll know from having meals with your family, sharing your grievances and what's happened in the day. It allows society to keep on moving. This is what functionalists say, because you've got your grievances out at home and they're not building and building into basically wanting to revolutionise your workplace. Another huge point I took away is that modern eating practices are definitely around food being a very social thing. So very expensive restaurants, first dates, let's go and get a coffee, everything, going out for lunch and dinner. It's become a place to meet. There isn't anywhere that you can just sit down in town. I know that sounds silly, but it's all about getting a coffee, consuming, and I've very much been cut out of that. I'm gradually worming my way back in and making people go and eat, because people get worried about eating in front of me. It does not offend me. If you're watching this and you know me, just eat in front of me, please, just eat in front of me. I really do not care. I miss the social contact that comes with that. If you think about when you go for coffee, how long you talk for, what you talk about, it's very different to what you might talk about if your friend comes around to your house, because it's outside of your house and it's away from prying ears. Food gives everyone a chance to stop what they're doing in this very modern and busy world and have a chat, and I have been cut out, so I want to get back in. And finally, something that I found extremely strange now that I can't eat is that the food you consume shows social class differentiation. So if you think about caviar or chips, or who you would associate those foods to, and it's a way of showing people you can afford things. If you go on a date to an expensive restaurant with your boyfriend, it's showing that he can afford it, and it's expensive, but that's my class, and all this. And I just find that really interesting now that I can't partake in all that. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. Thank you very much for Bloomsbury, for the academic side, for sending this to me. I thoroughly enjoyed reading it. Many of you may know, I took Sociology as a GCSE and I have an AS in it but not an A-level. I had to give it up because the government changed the A-levels, so I would have had to have learnt 2 years of stuff and remembered it. I can remember some things about sociology, but it's remembering the days, the people, the dates, and setting your essays out right. I'm definitely a sociologist at heart. I had an absolutely incredible sociology teacher. She was just like my favourite human. So if you're watching this, miss, I still love sociology. I still have an obsession. I still read my textbooks. I'm reading things online all the time. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Comment if you have any takeaways from my video. If you are seeing anything in a different light, I would love to know. Yeah, I would say ask, if a person has a tube, ask them how they feel on you eating in front of them. Some people I know feel very uncomfortable with it, but others don't. So yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye!